The text from Mom arrived while I was in my office overlooking the Manhattan skyline, reviewing acquisition proposals for my aviation company, Elite Wings. Your father's 60th birthday celebration is this weekend. Given the recent unpleasantness, we think it's best if you don't attend. The family needs peace, not drama. I laughed quietly, setting down my phone. The recent unpleasantness was me exposing my brother Ryan's embezzlement from the family business. Apparently, stealing was fine, but reporting it was drama. My assistant Sarah knocked on the door. Miss Carter? The paperwork for the hangar lease renewals needs your signature. Yes, the hangars. The very ones my family used for their private jet. The jet they'd bought from my company 2 years ago before they knew I owned it. They still had no idea that Elite Wings, operating through various shell companies, was mine. I picked up my phone again, checking the flight plan they'd filed. Caribbean vacation right after Dad's birthday party, of course. First class all the way, courtesy of the company money Ryan hadn't managed to steal. Sarah, I called, pull up the lease agreement for Hangar 7 at Teterboro. She brought over the file and I studied the fine print I'd insisted on including when I sold them the jet. Elite Wings retained the right to terminate hangar leases with 24 hours notice. A standard clause, they'd been told. Just business. Another text from Mom. Ryan and Jessica have planned something special. Please don't make this difficult. Ryan and Jessica, the perfect children. My younger brother who'd nearly bankrupted the family company, and my older sister who'd covered for him. But they were welcome at Dad's birthday. They brought peace, not drama. I picked up my phone and called our head of operations. Mike, I need you to issue a lease termination notice for Hangar 7 at Teterboro. Effective tomorrow. The Carter hangar? He sounded surprised. But they're Elite Wings' longest-standing clients. Not anymore, I said, looking at the family photo on my desk from happier times. Also, activate the remote security protocol on their jet. The one that grounds the aircraft? That's the one. I smiled, remembering how I'd insisted on installing advanced security systems in all Elite Wings aircraft. Standard safety feature, I told them. Sarah appeared in the doorway again. Your sister Jessica is on line 1. Says it's urgent. Of course it was. Jessica always called when she wanted something, usually money or favors. Last time it was a rush renovation on the jet's interior before her friend's wedding. She still had no idea she'd been begging her little sister for help. I let it go to voicemail. Instead, I typed out a reply to Mom's text. Don't worry. I won't be at Dad's birthday. But you might want to check your flight plans for next week. Then I turned back to my acquisition proposals. After all, I had an aviation empire to run, even if my family thought I was just their disappointing daughter who'd wasted her inheritance on a business degree and pilot's license. My phone buzzed again, probably Jessica having a meltdown about the hangar notice. Or Ryan, realizing his Caribbean escape route was about to be cut off. But I didn't check it. I was too busy being the successful business owner they didn't know existed, about to teach them a very expensive lesson about family loyalty. Sometimes karma needs a little help taking off. And sometimes that help comes with wings and a cancelled hangar lease. I pulled up the weather forecast for the Caribbean. Perfect flying conditions next week. Too bad my family wouldn't be enjoying them. The next morning my office phone started ringing at 7 a.m. sharp. I watched the lines light up one by one as my family discovered their perfect vacation plans crumbling. Ms. Carter, Sarah announced through the intercom, your father is on line 1, your mother on line 2, and your sister has called 6 times already. Put Dad through, I said, turning to face the window where I could see a fleet of Elite Wings jets taking off from the private airport across the river. What the hell is going on? Dad's voice boomed through the speaker. Some company called Elite Wings just canceled our hangar lease. And the jet won't start, something about security protocols. I smiled, remembering all the times he'd dismissed my interest in aviation. What a shame. Have you tried calling customer service? They say the owner is exercising their right to terminate. We've been clients for 2 years. Well, Dad, I said calmly, maybe the owner doesn't appreciate clients who exclude their daughter from family celebrations. A long pause. What are you talking about? Check your jet's registration documents. Look at who owns Elite Wings. I could hear papers rustling, then a sharp intake of breath. Alexandra Carter. That's you. Surprise, I said softly. Turns out your disappointing daughter built quite an aviation empire while you were busy defending Ryan's theft. This is ridiculous, he sputtered. You can't do this. Actually, I can. It's all in the contracts you signed. Maybe if you'd taken my business degree seriously, you would have read the fine print. I hung up as line 2 started flashing again, Mom making her second attempt. Sarah appeared in my doorway. Your sister Jessica is in the lobby. Is quite insistent about seeing you. Send her up, I said. Time to face the family drama head-on. Jessica burst into my office 5 minutes later, designer handbag swinging wildly. What did you do? We're supposed to fly out tomorrow. I gestured to the chair across from my desk. Sit down, Jess. Let's talk about family loyalty. Loyalty, she scoffed. You're the one who turned Ryan in. For stealing millions, I reminded her. Which you helped cover up. He made a mistake. That's what family does, we protect each other. I stood up, walking to the wall where my aviation licenses and business degrees hung. No, family tells each other the truth. Family doesn't exclude members from celebrations because they did the right thing. It's Dad's birthday, she pleaded. We just wanted it to be peaceful. Peaceful like when you all laughed at my dream of working in aviation? Peaceful like when you called my pilot's license a hobby? Or peaceful like when you helped Ryan cook the books? He fell silent, finally looking around my office, really looking. At the view, the awards, the evidence of success they'd all ignored. You own Elite Wings, she said slowly. All this time, the jet renovations I begged for. You were begging your little sister, I confirmed. The one who wasted her time on aviation instead of joining the family business. Does Ryan know? He will. I checked my watch. Right about when he tries to use his Elite Wings credit card to book another jet and finds it cancelled. Jessica sank into the chair. The Caribbean trip is cancelled, I finished. Consider it my birthday present to Dad, a lesson in family values. My phone buzzed. Mom's third attempt to call. On my desk, the acquisition proposals waited, including one to buy the small regional airline my family often used as a backup. You should go, I told Jessica. I have some business to attend to. More aviation empire building, you know. She stood shakily. Alex, I'm sorry. About everything. Are you? Or are you just sorry you can't use my jets anymore? She had no answer for that. As she left, Sarah came in with fresh acquisition documents. The regional airlines board accepted our offer. Should I prepare the paperwork? I nodded, thinking about my family's rapidly diminishing travel options. Yes. And Sarah? Send a message to all Elite Wings partners. The Carter family is no longer authorized to charter any of our aircraft. Sometimes lessons come with wings attached. And sometimes those wings get clipped by the person they least expected. I turned back to my empire building. After all, I had a birthday celebration to miss. The morning of Dad's 60th birthday, I sat in my penthouse office watching the drama unfold through Elite Wings' booking system. My family had spent the last 24 hours desperately trying to arrange alternative travel plans, all of which mysteriously fell through. Ms. Carter, Sarah called through the intercom, your brother Ryan is trying to use his backup credit card to charter a jet through our Singapore subsidiary. Decline it, I said, pulling up the real-time tracking of their grounded jet. It sat useless in its soon-to-be-vacated hangar, a $65 million paperweight with my security protocols keeping it firmly on the ground. My phone lit up with a text from Mom. Alexandra, please. This is cruel. Your father's whole birthday plan is ruined. I thought back to all the family celebrations I'd attended over the years, sitting quietly while they praised Ryan's business acumen and Jessica's perfect life choices. The sister with the pilot's license was just an embarrassing footnote. Cruel. I typed back. Like excluding your daughter from her father's birthday? Or like covering up fraud? The reply came instantly. We can talk about this. Come to the house. Please. I smiled, pulling up the satellite view of our family estate. The sprawling mansion where I'd grown up, with its private helipad that I'd secretly bought last year through another shell company. Can't, I replied. Too busy running my hobby business. My office phone rang. Dad again. This time I answered. The regional airline won't take our booking either, he said without preamble. Did you buy them too? Yesterday, I confirmed. Along with the helipad you use. And the charter company Jessica suggested as backup. Amazing what you can do with a successful aviation empire. He was quiet for a moment. How big is Elite Wings exactly? Bigger than the family business, I said softly. Even before Ryan's embezzlement. I own 30% of private aviation services on the East Coast. But you were all too busy mocking my career choices to notice. Alex. His voice cracked slightly. I didn't know. You never asked, Dad. None of you did. You just assumed I was failing because I chose a different path. Sarah appeared in my doorway holding a tablet. On it, I could see security footage from the family hangar. Ryan was there arguing with Elite Wings staff about the grounded jet. Your brother is threatening to call his lawyers, Sarah reported. Let him, I said. I have better ones. Dad must have heard. Alex, please. We can fix this. The Caribbean trip means a lot to your mother. And your birthday meant a lot to me, I countered. Funny how family loyalty only matters when you need something from me. I pulled up Elite Wings' client list on my screen. Did you know the governor uses our services? And 3 Fortune 500 CEOs? That hobby you all laughed at? It made me a billionaire. The silence on the other end was deafening. But hey, I continued, at least you have Ryan and Jessica at your party. The good children. The ones who bring peace, not drama. We were wrong, he said finally. About everything. About you. Yes, you were. I stood up, walking to my office window where I could see the whole city spread out before me. And now you know exactly what your mistake cost you. Sarah appeared again. Your mother's on her way up. Security called. I nodded. Dad, I have to go. Mom's here to beg for travel privileges I won't grant. Happy birthday. I hung up as Mom burst in, designer dress and perfect makeup not quite hiding her desperation. Alexandra, she started, this has gone far enough. Has it? I turned to face her. Because I don't think it's gone far enough at all. In fact, I picked up the acquisition proposal for yet another regional airline. I'm just getting started. What do you want? She asked quietly. What I've always wanted, Mom. Respect. Recognition. A family that values integrity over image. I handed her a folder, the complete documentation of Ryan's fraud, Jessica's cover-up, and my own quiet rise to aviation dominance. Read it, I said. All of it. Then decide if excluding me from Dad's birthday was really about peace, or just about protecting the family's comfortable lies. She took the folder with trembling hands. Now if you'll excuse me, I said sitting back at my desk, I have an empire to run. The jets won't fly themselves. As she left, I pulled up the weather forecast for the Caribbean again. Still perfect flying conditions. But my family wouldn't be enjoying them. Not today, not next week, not ever again, unless they learned that sometimes the daughter they dismissed as a failure was actually their only path to success. I picked up the phone to call my lawyers. After all, I had a few more aviation companies to acquire. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just grounding their jets. It's soaring higher than they ever imagined possible. You have 1 week to move out, my father's words echoed through our family's expansive living room. We can't have you embarrassing us anymore, Alexandra. I stood there, clutching my laptop bag. The same bag that contained contracts worth millions, not that they knew that. At 26, I was supposedly a failed entrepreneur in my family's eyes, working from home on my little online business, while my younger sister Jennifer climbed the corporate ladder at our father's company, Mitchell Industries. Dad, if you just let me explain what I'm working on. Enough, he cut me off, adjusting his expensive tie. Jennifer is already a vice president at Mitchell Industries. Your cousin James just made partner at his law firm. And you sit in your room all day doing God knows what on your computer. My stepmother, Eleanor, perched elegantly on their Italian leather sofa, added her usual venom. Really, Alexandra, it's embarrassing when people ask what you do. Oh, she works from home, she mimicked with a cruel laugh. The neighbors must think you're selling pyramid scheme products. If they only knew that my little online business was actually Nova Technologies, one of the fastest-growing real estate investment platforms in the country. I developed an AI algorithm that could predict property values and market trends with unprecedented accuracy. But I'd kept my success hidden, operating under a corporate umbrella that concealed my identity as founder and CEO. Fine, I said quietly. I'll be gone in a week. And don't expect any help, my father added. It's time you learned about the real world. The real world. I almost laughed. My company had just closed a deal worth $300 million last week, acquiring prime real estate across 3 major cities. But they were so caught up in their narrow view of success, corner offices, corporate titles, country club memberships, that they couldn't see beyond their own prejudices. Jennifer chose that moment to sweep in, dressed in her designer suit, fresh from her executive meeting. Oh, is Alex finally moving out? Thank God. It's so awkward telling my colleagues my sister is. Well, you know. I gathered my things heading to my room to pack. As I walked out, I heard Eleanor saying, maybe this will finally force her to get a real job. Mitchell Industries is expanding their administrative department. That night, as I packed my belongings into boxes, my phone buzzed with a notification from our AI system. Mitchell Industries office building, a premium property in downtown Seattle, had just been listed for sale. The current owner, a real estate investment trust, was quietly looking for buyers. I sat on my bed, a slow smile spreading across my face. My father's company had been leasing that building for 20 years. It was their headquarters, their pride and joy, the symbol of Mitchell Industries' success. Opening my laptop, I began typing an email to my CEO. Time to make a move. Target, Westbrook Tower. Current occupant, Mitchell Industries. Let's make this happen quietly. What my family didn't know was that their perfect world was about to be shaken to its core, and their unsuccessful daughter would be the one doing the shaking. Sarah, I spoke into my phone, calling my executive assistant. Schedule a meeting with the REIT managers first thing tomorrow. And one more thing, make sure all negotiations are done through our shell company. No one can know Nova Technologies is involved. As I continued packing, I thought about my mother, my real mother, who died when I was 12. She'd always encouraged my interest in technology and business, unlike Eleanor, who'd swept in with her corporate wife persona and proper career expectations. Just watch, Mom, I whispered to her photo on my nightstand. They're about to learn what real success looks like. Little did my family know their decision to kick me out would trigger a chain of events that would change everything. 1 week later, I was settled into my real home, a penthouse apartment that I'd kept secret from my family for the past 2 years. From my floor-to-ceiling windows, I could actually see Westbrook Tower, where Mitchell Industries occupied the top 10 floors. The REIT has accepted our offer, Sarah reported during our morning briefing. $45 million for Westbrook Tower, all cash. They're particularly interested in our quick closing timeline. I nodded, watching my father's company logo gleaming in the morning sun. And the shell company structure is secure? Absolutely. As far as anyone knows, Atlas Property Holdings is making the purchase. No connection to Nova Technologies or you personally. My phone buzzed, a text from Jennifer. Hope you're enjoying your new independent life. Dad's in a great mood today. Just announced Mitchell Industries is expanding, taking over 2 more floors in the building. I smiled at the irony. My father was planning an expansion in a building he wouldn't be occupying much longer. Ms. Parker, my CFO David called from the conference room. The Mitchell Industries lease analysis is ready. I joined my executive team, all of whom had been carefully selected for their discretion and brilliance. On the screen was a detailed breakdown of Mitchell Industries' lease agreement. Their lease expires in 3 months, David explained. According to market research, they've never even considered moving. They've been telling investors that their prime location is a key part of their corporate identity. Perfect, I said, pulling up our renovation plans. Begin the notification process. Let's make this official. Later that day, as I was reviewing acquisition documents, my phone lit up with a call from Eleanor. Alexandra, she said, her voice sickly sweet. We haven't heard from you since you left. Your father and I were thinking, perhaps you'd like to interview for an entry-level position at Mitchell Industries? Jennifer could put in a good word. No thank you, I replied calmly. I'm doing quite well with my own business. She sighed dramatically. Still playing entrepreneur? Really, Alexandra, it's time to grow up. Do you know how embarrassing it is when people ask about you? I imagine you'll find out soon enough, I murmured. What was that? Nothing, I have to go, Eleanor. Business calls. The next morning, Mitchell Industries received their official notice. Westbrook Tower had been sold. All existing leases would be reviewed by the new owners. I watched through our security feeds as the notice was delivered to my father's office. His face turned red as he read it, immediately calling for an emergency executive meeting. Sarah, I called through the intercom. I think it's time to schedule a meeting with Mitchell Industries' executive team. Let's introduce ourselves as the new landlords. Of course, she replied. Should I prepare the standard lease termination documents as well? Yes. And Sarah? Make sure the conference room has a clear view of their current offices. I want them to see what they're losing. That afternoon, my father's panicked voice filled our surveillance feeds as he addressed his executive team. We've built our reputation around this location. We can't move. Do you know how many clients associate us with this building? Jennifer's voice chimed in. Daddy, can't we just negotiate with the new owners? Atlas Holdings isn't responding to our calls, someone else reported. All we know is they want to meet next week to discuss the lease situation. If they only knew that their unsuccessful daughter was orchestrating it all from her office just a few blocks away. What happened in that meeting would become corporate legend, but first I had one more card to play. The day of the meeting arrived, and I watched through the security cameras as Mitchell Industries' executive team filed into our ground floor conference room. My father led the group, looking uncharacteristically nervous. Jennifer followed, clutching a folder of what I assumed were desperate counterproposals. Eleanor had insisted on coming too, probably hoping to charm the new owners. Atlas Holdings representatives will be here shortly, Sarah informed them, serving coffee with the same professional courtesy she showed everyone regardless of who they were. At exactly 10 a.m., I entered through the private elevator, dressed in a custom-made black Armani suit. My executive team followed, each carrying tablets with our comprehensive plans for Westbrook Tower. The moment I walked in, the color drained from my father's face. Jennifer's coffee cup clattered against its saucer. Eleanor's perfectly maintained facade cracked. Hello, Father, I said calmly, taking my seat at the head of the table. Surprised to see your unsuccessful daughter? Alexandra, he stammered. What are you doing here? I'm here representing Atlas Holdings, I smiled, opening my tablet. Or more accurately, Nova Technologies, which owns Atlas Holdings. We recently acquired this building for $45 million. Impossible, Jennifer burst out. You work from home. You're nobody. Actually, Sarah interjected, distributing folders to everyone. Ms. Alexandra Parker is the founder and CEO of Nova Technologies, currently valued at $2.1 billion. Our AI-driven real estate platform has revolutionized property investment across North America. Eleanor's hands shook as she opened the folder, staring at press clippings and financial reports about my company's meteoric rise. Now, I continued, about your lease. As you know, it expires in 3 months. We've decided not to renew it. You can't do this, my father finally found his voice. This building is part of Mitchell Industries' identity. Just like being successful was part of your family's identity? I countered. Funny how things change. We'll pay double the current rent, Jennifer offered desperately. This isn't about money, I said. This is about learning that success doesn't always look the way you think it should. While you were mocking my little online business, I was building an empire. While you were embarrassed by me working from home, I was developing technology that's transformed an entire industry. But, where will we go? Eleanor asked, her voice small. Oh, I have a suggestion, I smiled, pulling up another document. Nova Technologies owns several other properties in the city. There's a lovely space available in the business district, on the second floor of a shared office building. My father's face turned purple. The second floor? We're a prestigious company. We need dash. You need to learn humility, I cut him off. Just like I learned it when you kicked me out for not meeting your standards of success. Standing up, I gathered my things. You have 3 months to vacate. Our team will assist with your relocation to the new space, if you choose to take it. If not, well, commercial real estate is quite tight in Seattle these days. As I turned to leave, Jennifer called out, Alex, wait. We're family. I paused at the door. Family? Family supports each other. Family sees potential, not just appearances. You stopped being family the moment you decided I was an embarrassment. That evening, as I stood in my penthouse office watching the sun set behind Westbrook Tower, Sarah brought in a bottle of champagne. Your father's been calling non-stop, she reported. He's offered to make you a partner at Mitchell Industries. I laughed. Tell him I'm not interested in partnering with a second-floor company. 3 months later, I watched from my window as Mitchell Industries moved out of Westbrook Tower. Their prestigious logo came down, replaced by Nova Technologies' rising phoenix emblem. My phone buzzed with a text from my father. I was wrong. You're not an embarrassment, you're brilliant. Can we talk? I typed back a simple response. My assistant will schedule you in. I have an opening next month, in my new office on the top floor. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't just buying someone's building, it's showing them that success comes in many forms, and the daughter they underestimated now towers above them, literally and figuratively.